Near protocol is doing phenomenal. It's up about 74% for the month. For the week, it's down a little bit, but they are definitely up and coming. Look at the last year, 143%, and it keeps on going and going and going. So Near protocol is another one, okay? And they've been doing really well recently, I think due to a couple of reasons. Number one is they adopted inscriptions. So they have their own standard, and there's a new way of creating new tokens on this standard for Near protocol. And whenever you have a new, we have seen this. There's a lot of chains now support inscriptions, and whenever inscriptions get like onboarded to a new chain, look at that. Look at that huge spike upwards, right? We've seen this with many other chains. But whenever it happens, you got a whole bunch of people minting, and there's a ton of transactions, and with Near, you have a whole bunch of tokens burned too, 350,000 tokens burned. So I believe that's why Near has been doing very well, but I've always said Near is kind of like a mini Solana, okay? And they're moving in the same direction. So Near is doing pretty well, right? Their TVL is not near all-time high yet. In fact, Near's TVL is still quite low, only 100 million, right? But as this year goes on, if they can recapture a lot of the TVL they had, their peak was close to 500 million, right? They will definitely do very well. Solana had one of the better years in 2023. And I'm not saying that Solana's going to stop. They're still extremely strong. In fact, if you look at them right now, they're back up over $100. Obviously, Solana's not going to go away anytime soon. And in fact, I've been talking a lot about them, how they have surpassed Ethereum in many, many metrics, including stablecoin volume, which is actually pretty significant. But it makes sense. You rather transfer USDT or USDC with Solana than Ethereum because it's just so much cheaper, right? Stablecoin volume, NFT volume, overall volume, like seriously, everything is skyrocketing, right? Even their TVL is on the rise because now they have Jitto, which is a liquid staking platform, and of course they have their DEXs, they have Orca, which is something that I'm new to, and also Radium, but there's so many others. But Jitto made a big splash recently with their airdrop, right? And of course, you got the memes. You got the memes going. You got people that made, turn 4 SOL into 2,200 SOL in 5 days. You have people make tens of millions of dollars or millions of dollars with memes, right? So obviously, that's why Solana is doing so well. Look at how strong they are. Even with today's dip, is still up 11%. They are strong. I covered them a few days ago, and since then they're up like 20%. But I think it's just the beginning. I said out of Cosmos could be the next Injective or be the next Celestia. In fact, I think they're higher than Celestia now. So they're not the next Celestia. They're already bigger. They could be the next Injective. And if they keep going, they could be the next Solana. So why do I think so? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, they're out of Cosmos. That means IBC is enabled. They support CosmWasm, which is the programming language and execution language within Cosmos. But also, their V2 allows EVM. So dApps can come aboard utilizing Ethereum Virtual Machine or CosmWasm, so it's kind of both, right? And there's rumors that they may even support Solana too next. So they're trying to incentivize all these dApps to come aboard, which is quite interesting, right? Sei also has one. They're called Kryptonite. Sailor is a symbol. It's actually a symbol for Kryptonite, which is their liquid staking platform. It's relatively small, under, very little right now, but look at them. They pumped us 66% today. Only 57 million in market cap. So actually, Kryptonite is one to watch out for, because if Sei continue to get stronger and stronger and stronger, then everything within Sei is going to get stronger, such as Kryptonite. So that's another one, another alpha for you guys that went up a lot today, but you You don't want to FOMO in when something's up 66%. You want to let it cool. But definitely keep it on your radar. And for those of you guys that love memes and anime, right? They have their own meme coin that's called Saiyan. Even though the meme coin did not do well today, it's down 29%. Okay, but they have their meme. I didn't even talk about like the speed and low latency and so forth. They have one of the lowest finality times, which means everything is settled really quickly. So in terms of just like the technical aspects to say really good, you could argue maybe even better than Solana. But they're following the same footsteps. TVL is going up. They have a new meme, right? They have their liquid staking, so that's why they're doing well. Sui. A lot of people think Sui and Sei are like the same thing, but they're not. Sui is actually a lot smaller, under $1 billion, so they're up and coming. They've been doing well. So if you go back a month, they're about 35% up. Year, they're still down, right? So obviously, they haven't moved as much as Sei or any of the other ones. Sui is actually out of the US. They were created by Miston Labs, who's in California, in Palo Alto. So this is one of the things they do, and they do other things too. They have this open source programming language for building smart contracts. They came out with the Sui wallet. They also do like a lot of research and development for tokenization, economics, cryptography, and all this stuff, right? So they're actually based in the US, which is kind of interesting, which actually probably makes it easier for them to get listed on Coinbase if they're deemed a non-security. Sui, they're also kind of moving in the same direction. Their TVL is exploding. They just surpassed 200 million in TVL. And Sui is also one of those chains from a technical standpoint, very fast, almost feeless, right? They also have the liquid staking, and you have like Solana-based lending coming on board. SolLend is also expanding to Sui. Here's one. Transactions per second, amazing, right? You have KuCoin that's also investing into inscriptions that's on top of Sui. So that's kind of interesting. Yes, Sui also has inscriptions just like Bitcoin. A lot of NFTs coming aboard. They have their own NFT marketplace called Hyperspace, which looks pretty darn good. And their biggest swap, Sui Swap, relatively small, only 26 million, 27 million in market cap, up about 17% today. So they're moving in the right direction too. So again, kind of like Sei, if Sui continues to do well, then of course you got to pay attention to the dApps aboard, and Sui Swap is, I believe, they are the biggest DEX within Sui, so definitely one to pay attention to.